Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Back to
Good
our
morning,
class.
ma'am. Good morning.
Back to our class, Standard 5, English. In the previous class, I gave you a brief introduction about lesson 4, that is about information, please. And the lesson is related with technology. Okay? I restart this lesson today again because yesterday many did not join the class, and due to some technical issue I couldn't send you the link. So I am restarting the lesson. I hope yesterday's brief introduction was good enough for you to understand what is the concept of the lesson. Okay? I show you a picture of a child. Yes, the picture of a child. What do you see? What do you see in this picture? What do you see in this picture?
Ma'am, here. Ma'am, a boy. Ma'am, a boy.
One at a time. Speak one at a time. Speak one at a time. Now look at this picture. There's a little boy who's talking on the phone. You can see tears in his eyes. Can you see the tears? You can see tears in his eyes. And you can see his thumb. Yes, he's got pain in his
Yes,
thumb.
ma'am.
So when you look at this picture, what comes to your mind? You will think that he is complaining or is asking for some solution or is telling somebody about the incident that has happened. Now, back to our lesson, information, please. What is technology? I told you. What is technology? Technology is nothing but the electronic gadgets that we are using nowadays. And nowadays, though, we are using it very often because it has become our need. It helps us to keep in contact with our near and dear ones. It is helping us to conduct online classes. It is helping us to send you notes, to send for students to send the assignments or the projects or anything. So it is a very useful technology is very useful to us in our day-to-day life. Now, what are the benefits? If you go to see, if I ask you what are the benefits of technology, there are n number of benefits. Technology helps us in our house. Technology helps us in our school.
Ma'am, your voice is choppy.
Technology helps us in our school. Technology helps us in our home. Technology in offices. Technology in hospitals. Technology in big multinational companies. So, benefits are many. And people of today's generation are making the best use of technology because it saves time, work is accurate, and we can send it to any number of people within a short time. Now, if I speak the other way, what are the disadvantages of using technology? Can anyone tell me what are the disadvantages? What are the disadvantages?
Ma'am, it's baby Ma'am,
Okay, just like benefits, even there are many disadvantages of technology. Just like benefits, there are many disadvantages of technology. But we have to be very wise in using the technology. You can face problem if you don't use it in a proper way. So technology is both advantages and disadvantages. Advantages when you use it in a wise manner, and disadvantages when you are not aware of what you're doing or how you're using it, we will end up in problem. So we have to be very wise when we are using technology. Even a single message can put you into trouble. So this is a general introduction about um, technology. Now, what is friendship? What is friendship? What is friendship?
Mama, friendship is a connection between two people.
Friendship is a connection between two people. What type of two
Connection
people?
between two people.
What type of two people? What type you
My friend.
friendship is connecting two people. Shreyas told me. What type of people? What type of people?
Ma'am, any age of people. Ma'am,
Any
any
type
age
of
of
people.
people. Ma'am, if they
Is
are
it
young, any age of people.
is it necessary that we should make friendship with our same age group? Is it necessary that we make friendship with our same community? Or is it necessary to make
No,
friendship only
ma'am.
with human beings? Shreyas, mute your
Ma'am,
system,
anybody
beta.
is the
Mute your system. Friendship can be made with human beings, with pets, like pet animals. Sometimes people even make friendship with even wild animals. Do you agree with me? If you have seen the Discovery
Yes,
Channel,
ma'am.
you will see people having a
Yes,
close
ma'am.
uh,
Yes, ma'am.
attachment even with wild animals. So friendship can happen with anyone. It has no age limit. It has no age limit. Friendship can happen with a same age group. It can happen with our elderly person. It can happen with our pets. It can happen with our neighbor. It can happen with anyone. So friendship has no age limit. So sometimes we call these kinds of friendship as unusual. Nike, Zara Nike, please mute your system. So this kind of friendship we call it as unusual friendship. People who work in hospitals and all, they daily come across so many people and patients. They differ in age, but sometimes the patient gets so much attached with the concerned staff there, they become good friends. Even after they leave the hospital, they are still in touch with the people. So this is unusual friendship. It can happen with age variation also, age difference. Unusual friendship. So today in this lesson we are going to know about such a unusual friendship which takes place between a small boy and a telephone operator. I'll give you a brief introduction of this story because yesterday many were absent, so I'm repeating it. This lesson is about a small boy. Yes, he comes in contact with
Yes,
the
ma'am.
telephone operator and they become good friends. And for every small reason, for every small problem, the child calls up the telephone operator for help. And the telephone operator was so sweet that every time the child called up, telephone operator, she would respond or answer the child's problem or find a solution to the child problem. And in this process, years pass by, and the child grew up. He finished his school and college, and he started, working. He became a surgeon. And one fine day, he accidentally meets this person with whom he was in contact on phone. Yes, and then they meet each other, and they are so happy that they have met after years. So, and after that, their friendship again continues. Close your camera, and they again reunite as friends. So, this is called as unusual friendship. Unusual friendship. So, now let's see what exactly happens in the lesson, how the child comes across, or how he comes in contact with this telephone operator. I started this lesson yesterday, but since due to some technical issue, I couldn't send you the links, and many were absent for the class. So I thought I will restart it again and complete it by tomorrow. Chapter 4, Information, please. When I was a young boy, my father had one of the first telephones in our neighborhood. I remember the polished old case fastened to the wall. The shiny receiver hung on the side of the box. I was too little to reach the telephone, but listened with fascination when my mother talked to it. So, there's a little boy, and when he was a young boy, he remembers my father had one of the first telephones in our neighborhood. That means this child had a telephone. And what kind of telephone? The telephone was like this, exactly like this, exactly like this. You can see here. It is attached. It is attached on the wall. It is attached on the wall. Yes, you can see, and you can see there is a receiver, there's a mouthpiece and a receiver where you can speak and listen, and it is always attached, and you can see the wire is going from here. So this kind of telephone set was available during many years ago. Of course, now we have different varieties of telephones. So this child was feeling very proud because in their entire locality only he had a telephone at home. And he would admire his mother, and he would admire his mother. He kept on looking at his mother whenever there was a phone call or whenever his mother was on the phone. Then I discovered that somewhere inside this wonderful device lived an amazing person. Her name was Information Please. She knew everything. She could supply anyone's number and the correct time. So this child discovered that inside the wonderful device. Now, which device is he talking about? He's talking about the telephone that is attached on the wall. Then I discovered that somewhere inside the wonderful device lived an amazing person. Her name was Information Please. She knew everything. She could supply anyone's number and the correct time. So this child studied or realized that this wonderful device, there's a person, amazing person living inside, and the name is Information Please, who knew everybody's names and phone numbers and date and time. My personal experience with the genie in a bottle came one day when my mother was visiting a neighbor. Amusing myself at the tool bench in the basement, I whacked my finger with a hammer. The pain was terrible, but I didn't cry because there was no one home to give sympathy. Children, as you all know that when your parents are not at home and when you are left alone at home, you are up to some mischiefs. So this little child, when his mother had gone to visit one of her neighbor, he was all alone in the house. He went down in the basement and started fidgeting things. And when he was fidgeting the toolbox and so many other things, he happened to hit his finger with the hammer. You can see here, this is his finger where he hit it, and you can see I have shown there it is red. So when he was in the basement fidgeting things, Nikar, close your camera. He hit his finger, but he didn't wanted to cry. He didn't wanted to cry. He didn't wanted to cry because even if he cried, there was no one in the house to give him sympathy because his mother had gone to visit the neighbor. So what did he do? He did not cry because he knew there's no one to give him sympathy. He came out of the basement. He walked around. I walked around sucking my throbbing finger, finally arriving at the stairway. The telephone quickly I ran for the footstool in the parlor and dragged it to the landing. Climbing up, I unhooked the receiver and held it to my ear. So suddenly he remembered there's a telephone in the house. I should call up someone and ask for help or inform someone. So from the basement, he came up to the hall, to the room where the telephone was hung. He pulled a, he dragged, he pulled a footstool. He climbed on that and he unhooked the receiver and he put it on his ear. Now he's going to talk to someone. Now who is that someone? We'll see. Information, please, I said into the mouthpiece just above my head. He removed the receiver, he put it on his ears, and what did he say? He said, information, please, I said into the mouthpiece just above my head. A click or two, and a small, clear voice spoke into my ear. Information. So the child was bright enough, he had little common sense. He called up and he said, information, please. Then the reply came from there saying information. Like what exactly you want? What information do you want? So the child says, I hurt my finger. I hurt my finger. I hurt my finger. I wailed into the phone. The tears came readily enough now that I had an audience. So, when there was a question from the information department from the telephone, he said, I hurt my finger. I wailed into the phone. Wailed in the sense he started crying. He started crying. Why did he cry? He cried because there was somebody listening to him, somebody who is answering his questions. He started crying when he said, I hurt my finger. I wailed into the phone. The tears came readily enough now that I had an audience. Audience is people when they listen and watch you. So he started crying because he was feeling someone is there to hear to his problem, or someone is there to hear to his cry. Isn't your mother home? Came the question. So immediately there was a question from the other side. Isn't your mother? home? Came the question. Nobody's home. Nobody's home but me, I blabbered. So the child says that there's no one at home but me. Are you bleeding? The voice asked. So the voice asked again, are you bleeding? The voice asked. The voice, in the sense, the telephone operator. No, I replied. I hit my finger with the hammer and it hurts. So the child was saying that accidentally he hit his finger with the hammer and it is giving him pain. Can you open the ice box? She asked. I said I could. So the telephone operator asked the child, can you open the ice box? I said I could. So the child said, yes, I can open the ice box. Then chip off a little bit of the ice and hold it to your finger. So the telephone operator told the child to open the ice box, chip some bits of ice and hold it on the finger where he had hurt it out, where he had hit it with the hammer. After that, I called information please for everything. I asked her for help with my geography and maths. So after that, it became a routine for the child. It became a habit for the child. He started calling up information please very often, every now and then, for small, silly reasons, for everything, whatever he wanted to know. He started calling up. She told me my pet chipmunk, which I had caught in the park just the day before, would eat fruits and nuts. So the child started sharing any doubt, any question, any problem he had, he would call up and ask information please to solve his problem or to give a solution. Then there was the time, there was the time Piche, a pet canary, died. So this child had a beautiful pet bird. One fine day, all of a sudden, it died. He did not know what to do now. I called information, please. So to know even about that, he called up the telephone operator, information, please, and told her the sad story about the death of his pet. She listened and said things grown up say to soothe a child. So when the telephone operator understood this child is very innocent, he's totally relying on her for each and every small petty issues. He's calling up and asking for solution. She, being an elderly person, a responsible person, she tried to make the child understand in a very simpler way, in a very easy way, just like how our parents, how our mothers, how our grandparents make us understand when we have small issues. So she made him understand by convincing him about the death of the pet bird. But I wasn't consoled. But I wasn't consoled. I asked her, why do birds which sing so beautifully and bring joy to all families and end up as a heap of feathers on the bottom of a cage? So whatever answer, whatever clarification the operator gave, telephone operator, the child was not happy, the child was not content. He started questioning her. Why do deaths come? Why do deaths occur? Like, why do birds die? Because which sings, they sing so beautifully and bring joy to all families, and they end up as a heap of feathers in the cage. So there was a big question mark in the child. This shows that the child was very innocent. He was so attached with the pet. She sensed my deep concern, for she said quietly, Vinay, always remember that there are other worlds to sing in. I felt better. So, for this, the telephone operator tried to explain to the child, tried to make him understand the reality of life. Any living creature on this earth has to vanish, has to die one or the other day. This is the reality of life. This is the fact. Whether it is human being, whether it is birds or insects or animals or even plants. One fine day they will vanish, they will die. So through a easy method, through a simple method, she made the child understand that this is the part of life. We live, we die. Things grow, things disappear. And somehow the child was convinced, somehow the child was convinced by the answer. All this took place in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. So the story or this incident happened in the northwest, that is Pacific Northwest. All this took place, all this took place in a small town in the Pacific Northwest. When I was 9 years old. So when that little boy was 9 years old. So all these incidents took place in the town called in Pacific Northwest when the little child was 9 years old. We moved across the country to Boston. I missed my friend terribly. So they had to shift to a different place and he started missing his friend very, very much. He started missing his friend very much. Information, please, belonged in that old wooden box. Information, please, belonged in that old wooden box back home. I somehow never thought of trying the shiny new phone that sat on the table in the hall. As a teenager, the memories of those childhood conversations never really left me. So years passed, they shifted from that old place to a new place, and his parents already purchased a new set of phone. But the child did not feel like talking or keeping in connected with the telephone operator. But he did really miss her. He did miss her, he did miss her talks and her solutions and her the way she convinced the child. This is often see information please belong in that old wooden box back home. I somehow never thought of trying the shiny new phone that sat on the table in the hall. As a teenager, the memories of those childhood conversations never really left me. Though he was growing big, he was turning a teenager, but the old memories of his childhood he never forgotten. And he never forgotten his friend, the telephone operator, that is information, please. Often, in moments of doubt and perplexity, I would recall the serene sense of security I had then. I appreciated now how patient and kind she was to have spent her time on a little boy. Now he's growing up, he's getting his maturity, he's understanding the difference, understanding the reality, and he really appreciated the telephone operator, that is information place, for her kind gestures, her love and care. Like whenever the child called up, she would answer with so much of affection that the child felt so comfortable talking to her. She never shouted at him, she never scolded him. She was always ready to help him with his problems. So this all recover, he was recollecting all these things, his childhood days. He said, often in moments of doubt and perplexity, now as he was growing up, he was growing when he had few doubts and few issues where he was thinking about them, he would recall about his childhood days. He said, I would recall the serene sense, the beautiful moments, the wonderful moments that I spent with the telephone operator. He says, how often in moments of doubt and perplexity, I would recall the serene sense of security. He felt very secure when he was talking to the telephone operator. I had then. I appreciated now how patient and kind she was to have spent her time on a little boy. She was very sweet, she was very kind, and she was very patient to listen to the child and solve his problems by giving solutions. A few years later, on my way to college, my plane landed in Seattle. So after few years, after few years, after a few years later, on my way to college, my plane landed in Seattle. I had about an hour, half an hour between planes. I spent about 15 minutes on the phone with my sister who lived there now. Then, without thinking what I was doing, I dialed my hometown operator and said, information, please. So, when he was recalling and when he was going to college, one fine day, his plane landed in Seattle and he had half an hour between the planes. There was a gap of half an hour. He spent 15 minutes talking to his sister who was in that town, and then without thinking what he was doing, he dialed his hometown, the previous town where he was staying. He dialed his hometown operator number and he said, information, please. Miraculously, I heard the same clear voice I knew so well. Information. So, children, this is all about life. When you trust somebody, when you feel secured with somebody, you don't forget that person. When you miss that person, you start recalling your good days, the time spent, how that person has helped you. When you went to her or when you went to him with your problems, and how that person has helped you with giving solutions, listening to you patiently, bearing you. So all these things, keeps recalling when you start missing that person. When you start missing that person, all your old memories come back to you. So, children, it's time up. I will stop here. We'll continue the lesson in the next session, that is tomorrow, and we'll come.